How do I communicate to a woman that I'm non-monogamous, that I have more attractive women in my life, that I live in open relationships? Should I tell her straight away? Or is there any other way? Your communication of non-monogamy starts with a first contact with a woman. There is one important fundamental rule. You should never lie. If a woman asks you a question, always tell the truth or dodge a question with a sarcasm or humor. If she asks you, for example, are you seeing any other women? Don't tell her, no, I'm a monogamous prince, believe me, my lady. That's a lie, and it's a promise of a future drama. You can tell her, for example, wow, we have known each other for half an hour, and you want to know more about my private life than my mother, and I'm a total mama's boy. But actually, nowadays, most women don't ask these questions on the first date. They don't want to look too pushy. Then there is a group of women which I call provider hunters. These are women usually around 30 or older, and they are in an extreme provider hunter mode. They are looking for a monogamous boyfriend. Sometimes these women organize the first date as a job interview. They try to set the frame in which they are a job interviewer, an HR manager, and you are a job applicant. Never accept this frame. React in a diplomatic way, but with self-confidence, humor, and outcome independence. I remember a date with such a woman. She was 34 or 35, blonde, very attractive. We sat on the first date in a nice cafe, and she started talking. Okay, Michal, so tell me something about yourself. Where do you work? Where do you live? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? I just smiled and completely ignored her questions. I was looking at the menu and then I asked her, okay Anna, so what's your favorite drink? What kind of wine do you like? They have great Primitivo. Let's try it. I completely set the frame of the first date as a self-confident, diplomatic guy. And actually we ended up in the bed on the second date at my place. So how do you communicate that you live in open relationships? You never communicate it verbally but behaviorally. Through your behavior. You don't tell her, you know, I'm a non-monogamous guy because monogamy doesn't work nowadays and it's very unfair to men. I have a girlfriend and a few FBs on the side. You don't do that. You communicate your non-monogamous lifestyle through your behavior. You behave as a diplomatic but also self-confident and outcome-independent guy. You are nice to her, diplomatic, but you don't care how the first date will end up. She extremely likes you and she wants to go directly to your place. Great. She doesn't like you and she says that you're a jerk. Also great. You will have a nice story for your friends. You just don't care. You are relaxed, in a good mood, enjoying the first date and talking to a beautiful woman. You lean back and you ask her a lot of questions. You let her talk about her life. You are an active listener and you don't ask her job interview questions, which are boring, like where do you live, but you talk about her dreams, about her relationships, and also about sex and sexual preferences later during the date. So you set the frame as a self-confident, attractive guy, and you communicate your non-monogamous lifestyle subconsciously. She will perceive you as an attractive guy who is very relaxed, outcome independent, and who has abundance of women in his life. Most women will know. Never lead with your words and sentences, but always lead with your behavior and actions. Behavior is always 100 times more important than words. Do you want more useful tips and strategies how to start and maintain happy, long-term open relationships? Check out my new course, The Hunter's Training, Have Open Relationships. I will leave the link in the pinned comment. Check it out. See you next time. Happy hunting!